The most dangerous battles of the war were not fought with gunfire or explosions, but with silence, suggestion, and fear carefully shaped into belief. Long before soldiers crossed borders or aircraft darkened the sky, invisible campaigns were already underway, aimed not at cities or armies, but at the fragile architecture of human thought. Messages were gently repeated until they felt like common sense. Populations were conditioned to expect conflict, to accept suffering, to interpret hardship as proof of purpose. By the time open war arrived, many minds had already surrendered without realizing they were under attack. This unseen front thrived on uncertainty. People were told just enough truth to anchor belief, then surrounded that truth with distortion, emotion, and repetition until it became something else entirely. Fear was amplified not by sudden shocks, but by constant low-pressure warnings, predictions, rumors that never fully resolved. The human brain, desperate for clarity, filled in the gaps on its own, often imagining outcomes worse than reality. In this way, psychological pressure multiplied itself. No order needed to be given. No threat needed to be spoken aloud. Anxiety became self-sustaining. On the front lines, exhaustion made minds vulnerable. Soldiers lived in a permanent state of waiting for orders, for attacks, for relief that might never come. Into this space crept out. Whispers passed through ranks at night. Questions without answers. Had reinforcements already been destroyed? Had leadership abandoned them? Was the enemy stronger than reported? These ideas did not arrive as commands. They arrived as possibilities. And possibilities, once planted, were more dangerous than certainty. A soldier who believes defeat is inevitable does not need to be defeated. The environment itself became a weapon. Darkness was used deliberately. Silence carried meaning. When nothing happened, it suggested preparation. When broadcasts arrived unexpectedly, they carried authority. Words spoken calmly, confidently, and repeatedly carried more weight than shouted threats ever could. Messages were designed to sound familiar, reasonable, even sympathetic. They acknowledged fear instead of denying it. They framed surrender not as weakness, but as intelligence. Survival became the argument, and survival is the most persuasive logic of all. Behind the lines, civilian populations were shaped just as carefully. Information was filtered until reality appeared orderly and inevitable. Losses were explained away. Victories were magnified. Doubt was framed as disloyalty, hesitation as danger. Over time, people stopped questioning not because they were convinced, but because questioning felt unsafe. The boundary between belief and self-preservation blurred. When people repeated official narratives to each other, they reinforced them without needing external pressure. Control no longer required force, it relied on participation. Deception extended far beyond words. Entire movements were staged to be seen, while real intentions were hidden in plain sight. They showed fake setups on purpose, making it easy to see. Silence was used strategically to imply strength or conceal weakness. Opponents reacted not to what was real, but to what they thought they saw. Resources shifted, defenses set up, and strategies changed based on their perception. Whole operations unfolded like theater, with audiences never realizing the script was written for them. Psychological strain accumulated slowly, then suddenly collapsed. Armies that appeared intact on paper unraveled in days. Units broke formation without being over. Orders were obeyed mechanically, without conviction. Courage drained away, not because of overwhelming force, but because belief failed. When confidence is gone, no gear can fix it fast enough. The collapse often looked like cowardice to outsiders, but it was something far more human minds reaching their limit under sustained, invisible pressure. Even hope was weaponized. Promises of relief, liberation, or rescue were timed precisely to create emotional spikes, followed by crushing disappointment. This cycle exhausted resistance more effectively than constant fear. People who hope and are repeatedly betrayed lose energy faster than those who never hoped at all. Expectations became tools. Anticipation itself became a battlefield. The true horror of this unseen front was its efficiency. It required fewer resources than conventional war, yet produced results just as decisive. A message could travel farther than an army. A rumor could move faster than armor. A broadcast could weaken defenses without risking a single life on the attacking side. It was warfare scaled to human psychology, exploiting instinct, memory, emotion, and fatigue with scientific precision. And when the physical fighting finally arrived, when tanks advanced and bombs fell, the outcome often felt predetermined, not because one side was stronger, but because one side believed it was stronger. The battlefield merely confirmed what minds had already accepted. Victory and defeat, it turned out, were not always decided by force. Sometimes they were decided by belief, quietly reshaped over time, until resistance no longer felt possible.